But, Mike, the other thing, too, that you kind of hit on that I just kind of when I was watching the game, and, I forget the phrase you used there a little bit, but, like, I have the same thought when I watch them, too. It's almost like there's a little bit of a lack of camaraderie. I feel like I was watching the game, and the word that kept coming to my brain was corporation. I feel like I'm watching Bucks Corporation, where it's like it's a bunch of individual contracts and contractors, and we got you here, and we want to make it for the Super Bowl and all that. But I don't know. I just don't feel a togetherness with their football team like I felt the last few years either. I don't know what it is about it. I don't know if I can really explain it the right way to the viewers and you here on TV. But there's just some elements of their team that just miss to me this year. And that's where I guess I know they're dangerous and it's Brady, but I guess I fight back against that notion of them being too dangerous and it's Brady, and I'm scared about the playoffs and all that stuff.
Like a bunch of freelancers, I think.
A little bit. Yeah, right.
But here's the thing. They can come together at some point, even if it's temporary. Now, is this win enough to propel them to go to San Francisco and win? I don't remember. They do have Brock Purdy.
They got Brock Purdy, right. Yeah.
Right. But they've got the Bengals after that. I mean, they're and it's not – I think Brady understands. You know what? We're kind of clearly in the driver's seat to win this division.
Yeah.
Even if they lose the next two.
Right.
Even if they lose the next two.
Right.
They're the team that's most likely to win that division. So the final weeks of the season for them, it's kind of like, let's just work toward being ready to go and being all on the same page when we get to the start of the real season, the single elimination round. Now, look, they don't have it clinched yet, but it's looking pretty good right now for the Buccaneers when you look at the rest of the division. After last night especially, I thought the Panthers were the team that you may have to worry about if the Buccaneers had ended up losing last night. So they win that division, they punch that ticket, that's when the season really starts. And that's where Tom Brady has what, Chris? More experience than anyone's ever had. It will be that game in mid-January at home against the Cowboys, presumably, will be the 48th playoff game.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Tom Brady's career.
Yeah.
48th. Old hat. 48. He's been there. He's done that. He knows what to say in the locker room. Forget about the regular season. It doesn't matter. Forget about the preseason. Forget about all the stuff that went on this year. We all went through some stuff this year, me included. But you know what? We got 1 month. We got 4 games. Here we are. Let's go do it. We know what we're capable of. We've seen flashes of it. We're going to go do it each and every week. No one believes in us. He can finally say, truthfully, no one believes in us. And pull those freelancers together. Pull those independent contractors together and make them at least short-term employees and get them on that. When you see what happened the final 5 minutes of the game last night, that's why I believe it can still happen. And yes, one of the ingredients is the other team needs to screw itself. But, that's one of the things Brady talks about in the NFL. It's hard to win a game, but games are lost more than they're won. You do things you shouldn't do, and you hurt yourself. If you just take care of your business and don't screw up, you're more likely to win because there's a good chance the other team is going to do something that causes it to lose, like we saw the Saints do last night.
Yeah, no, I get you there. I get you there. But Tampa screws up a lot. They do. And they screwed up last night. They just found a team that screwed up a little bit more than they did. So that's
it's like the flip side of points.
I know.
Who's got the fewest screw-ups?
And that's what we're going to talk about.
Who's got the fewest screw-ups?
I get you. I get you. But yeah, they lost the turnover battle 2-0. That's where it's hard to get behind it if I'm me. And I understand it. I'm the same way. I've said some of the same things. Man, Brady in the playoffs, that could be scary. I get it. But, I guess there's a reality part of my brain that goes, wait, there's that, and I understand that. And it's never going to go away. And it's kind of annoying because we're going to have to talk about it all the way up until he loses the playoff game. We're going to, oh, gosh, it's Brady in the Tampa, and we got to watch. It's all you're ever going to hear. It is, but, that's okay. But at the same time, yeah, there's just too many little inklings of the other direction of just going, oh, they're sloppy and he's not playing good and they can't pass protect well and they can't run the ball. So that's where it's just going to be interesting, and maybe this is the moment that kind of brings it all together. Maybe it is. But like I said, I feel like I've said that quite a few times here. But maybe this is the thing with a guy like Brady. He can kind of galvanize, or not galvanize, but bring the locker room together and get them to start believing a little bit.
Question.
Yeah.
Late in the game,
right
before Tom Brady got the car started.
Yeah.
The broadcast showed an image of Bruce Arians, and there was a suggestion by one or both of the guys on the broadcast, I can't remember who, that they miss Bruce Arians. They could use the influence of Bruce Arians. Now, he's still in the building. He's still around, and I think he's still involved to a certain extent. Is that, when you get to the playoffs, is that part of Brady's plea? Like, we need to get Bruce more involved in this, and Brady's the one who goes to Todd Bowles and tries to manage the egos, and because Bowles was asked about more involvement from Arians at one point, and you got the old standoffish, I'm the coach, he's not. And I know you don't want to send mixed messages to your locker room.
Yeah.
But when you get to the point where we're doing everything we can to try to win games, and the guy that took us to the top of the mountain 2 years ago is still available to us, we've got to embrace him. And even though, health reasons or whatever, he's not working full time, he's not locked in, this is a chase for a championship. Let's use this guy. Let's take full advantage. One last ride for Bucko Bruce. We got this sports car that tends to break down rolling. Let's let him drive it with a cigar in one hand and a smile on the other. I mean, I don't know.
Listen, I'm with you, Mike. I mean, first off, they do miss Bruce Arians. That's something I feel comfortable saying. He brought an edge to that football team, and he pushed the right buttons, I think, in a lot of ways. I think it's a little bit what I was talking about with Bucks Corporation. I didn't feel like that with Bruce Arians. I felt like Bruce Arians got everybody in the foxhole together. It was like, they hate us. Everybody wants us to lose and die. Let's go out there and kick some butt. And they all rallied together around that.
And that's not Todd Bowles.
No,
that's not
exactly.
his personality.
That's what I mean. I think there's something there. And he's one of the most creative offensive minds we've seen. I wouldn't be mad, or I wouldn't be, even if I was Brady or a Byron Leftwich, getting ready for a playoff matchup. Okay, wait, it's week 17. We're not even playing the game yet. Hey, Bruce, here's the two teams we might play to open it up. Dive into some film here a little bit. Give us some ideas, some things you think that might help the attack. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That would be the kind of thing I would want from Bruce. It was. And Tampa, just to bring back a story here, and this is what I love about Bruce. He's so emotionally invested. He was really like, this is right after Mark Ingram not running for the first down.
This is when they were making the comments.
Exactly.
It looked like they weren't going to pull it out.
Right.
That's when they're like, oh, boy, they really could use this guy right now.
No question. But I will say, as far as like what you're talking about, consulting and, Tampa, that's one thing I learned when they beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. They picked a lot of ex-players and people's brains about how they should defend Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes before that Super Bowl. And I think that's why Todd Bowles played a different way. I think he had enough people of ex-Tampa Bay players who were kind of involved in the organization and some old coaches, and they caught, and everybody kind of, hey, no, you can't blitz and do what you did. And, so what's so different about this time around? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. They need anything they can get right now. That's what I guess what we're saying here, because they just have not shown one phase of their team that's dominant or elite at this moment. And I don't think the offense is capable of being elite. The defense maybe, but yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that, Mike, and that thought of consulting Bruce a little bit in that area.
But it does take on that all hands on deck vibe, and then some. Get everyone you can to help. The guy's there, and there's a way to take advantage of his skills and abilities without undermining the head coach. And that's something Todd Bowles needs to come to terms with. And I know, think about how difficult that would be. You become the boss, but the old boss is still there. And the old boss, if you give him an opening, is going to kick the door open potentially and come in and try to take over. So what do? You try to keep him on the other side of that door. Maybe there's a way you can let him in the room and he defers and he understands. I mean, if we are to believe the way this all happened, and I still don't, frankly, that Bruce Arians specifically decided to do this as in part a favor to Todd Bowles and to give him an opportunity to coach a team with Tom Brady as the quarterback and not Blaine Gabbert.
Right.
At some level, we have access to this guy. Let's use this guy. Let's take full advantage of this 1 month window, not the whole season, not training camp, not anything, but middle of January to middle of February. One game, another game, another game. Now, all that said, Chris, I kind of had a vision of what the future will be for the Buccaneers. I wouldn't be surprised if they beat the Cowboys, if that's who they end up playing in the wild card round. But if they would then go to Philadelphia, assuming that it holds that the 2 seed and 3 seed also win in the wild card round, and they're the lowest seed left, not the 6 or the 7 floating around, and they would go to Philadelphia. Philadelphia would not shoot themselves in the foot. Philadelphia would not let it be 16-3 with 5 minutes left. Philadelphia would be the team that would be completely dismantling the Buccaneers before Tom Brady had a chance to get his cleats tied.
I feel that's
where it would end, I believe.
I feel like it would end the week before. I don't think they're in the same class as the Dallas Cowboys right now. You know, we're seeing a Dallas team that's very capable of putting their foot on your throat and saying, see you later. They got the killer instinct. I mean, I can't, in the NFL, to win 54-19, and then 2 weeks before that to have won 40-3 against one. They got the step on the throat capability.
Yeah, but in between, what did they do? They screwed around with the Giants. Look, all these teams have the potential on any given Sunday, Saturday, Monday, Thursday, whenever else they play the games, to lose. That's what makes the single elimination round so exciting. I don't care what your record was.
I hear you there.
I don't care how many teams you blew out. It's 0-0. We got 60 minutes of football. Let's go.
I hear you, though. I hear you. But at the same time, we got to take in the evidence of what we've seen. You know, we do got to get a little bit over of like, hey, 2 out of the last 3 playoff appearances for Tom Brady, I've seen him do jack diddly squat. So that's got to hold some water, too. And he tried to piss down his leg in the NFC Championship game. They won the Super Bowl, too. So that's where, again, Brady, the man, the myth, the legend is scary. But I don't know if it is in reality, this team with Brady, that scary. It's just the thought of it. And I think that's what you're describing, too, let alone, listen, I understand that there's going to be people that it is real scary. But, man, I don't see Tampa Bay in the same class as Philadelphia, San Francisco, Dallas. Not even in the same class. You know, you talk about the teams like, you know, Seattle and the Giants. Certainly, I put them in that class. That's where I kind of see them, you know. But I don't think they're even up there with your Minnesota Vikings. I think they can make the game close because of your crappy defense, but not with Philly, San Fran, and Dallas.
Chris, here's the reality. We could go through playoff fields over the years and say that team wasn't in the class with the others and that team got to the Super Bowl. I mean,
I don't think so, Mike. I wouldn't agree with that comment. I would not.
Well, what about, let's go. I mean, the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
First one comes to mind.
Right.
The Cardinals in 2008.
Sure.
They were 9-7.
Right.
They weren't in the same class as the best teams in the conference, and they won every game and got to the Super Bowl.
Well, they started Matt Leinart early in the year. They had a lot of dumb crap they did. You know, that
wasn't 08. That wasn't 08. That was 06 with Leinart. Leinart was gone by 08.
Okay, all right.
08, they were 9-7.
Sure.
They got blown off the field by the Philadelphia Eagles on Thanksgiving night.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Blown off the field.
Right.
And then they came across them again in the NFC Championship and beat them.
Yeah.
My point is, all that stuff is ancient history when you get to the win or go home phase. And where Brady has the edge that no one else has, it'll be game number 48, where he has lived it. He's breathed it. The whole game, he's in that mindset that he's in the last 5 minutes where he transforms. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.